What do you remember from your best game night? Take a second and think about it. I bet it's not the moment that you look down and rearranging your resources at the table. It's probably one huge moment and you remember how it ended. That doesn't mean everything else of that experience or that game night is boring. That's just how your brain is built to do what it's supposed to do. This comes from Daniel Kahneman, the psychologist who basically invented behavioral economics and won a Nobel Prize for it. He ran a study where people rated pain during a colonoscopy. Then he compared that to how they remember the pain afterward. The two didn't match, not even close. People's memory of the entire experience was predicted almost entirely by two data points: the worst moment and the last moment. Everything else barely counted. He called it peak end rule. We don't remember experiences, we remember highlight reels. And board games are basically a 1-2 hour experience you're asking someone to remember fondly enough to come back and play it again. Here is the uncomfortable part, that it doesn't matter how good your mid-game is. If the mid is boring, but the peak and the ending land, people will still remember it as a great game. And if your middle is brilliant, but the ending fizzles out, they will remember the game as just fine. It is not fair, I know, but this is how memory works. So what is peak moment, you ask? In my opinion, it's not just an exciting moment. It is a moment that the stakes are highest and the outcome is genuinely uncertain. Fantastic Sea is a combo game, or probably like any other combo game out there, and every time when the combo triggers, you get an instant peak feeling right there, mid-turn. It's not something that we save for the end of the game that you get a giant reward, but it's actually the core loop over and over. Every time when two cards or multiple cards trigger a combo at the board, it suddenly pays off in a way that you half expected and half didn't. This is actually a more reliable design tool than one big scoring moment. Instead of building towards a single peak at the end, you build a dozen of small peaks throughout the game, so player constantly feels satisfaction and engaged. This one is sneakier because it doesn't mean the last 5 minutes of the game, it means the last feeling that your brain remembers. So Wanderlust, it is a racing game, and the minute when someone triggered the second objective, the game going to be end. But here's the problem, that even though the game has ended, you have no idea knowing who actually won the game, because victory point coming from all over the places, set collection from the destinations, from the continent, from secret missions, as well as a bunch of other resources. So person who ends the game, not necessarily the person who wins the game. We actually deliberately designed this way that we don't want player to feel that, oh, he has reached the second objective, it probably means he will win the game, and we're just doing it as placeholder. We're just doing the formality now. So they actually has two layers of peak end built into it. The first one, it is the jolt of someone just trigger the end. The second one, right behind it, it is the uncertainty of, okay, but did he actually win? You get the race finish adrenaline and the scoring tension back to back, so in the same package as an end moment for Wanderlust. Since I explained how we put these design method into our Fantastic Sea and Wanderlust, I have to tell you how we implement this into Battle of the Knollen, which is the next game we're gonna come out. It is a trick-taking monster fight, and how we build it in a way is actually you're fighting monsters level by level. So you first have level 1, those are slightly weaker monsters, and you need less resources to fight them, and then you have a level 2, and after level 2 it is the final monster, which is basically the game arc where you either lose it or wins it. So if you're designing anything, a game, a level, a pitch, doesn't matter. Stop asking, is every part of it good? Start asking two questions instead. What is the peak and how does it end? Either way, nail those two and people will forgive almost everything else, because as humans, our brain is not built to remember everything else. Anyway, that is the peak end rule. That's also probably why you only remember 2 minutes of your game night, even though it took 3-4 hours. If you want to see how this plays out, you can check out Fantastic Sea or Wanderlust, and keep an eye on Battle of the Knollen. I will leave all the relevant links, the game found campaign, as well as where you can get the games down in the description box. And I'll see you next week. Bye!